What is up, everybody? Hunter with Lost Socket Garage, and today we hit a massive brick wall with everyone's favorite Nugget. So today we figure out where we're going to draw the line. All right, the Nugget. We've done a couple of videos on the Nugget. If you follow the channel, you're probably familiar with it. I fluffing love this car. It's very, very rare. There were only 481 of these ever produced. It is called the Golden Nugget Special. It was only sold in Washington, basically as a tribute to the gold mining industry. They were slated to make like 525 of them. 481 made it to production, and they were only sold in Washington. And they only came in vinyl roof tops. Now, anyone who's ever owned a vinyl rooftop car knows the issues that come along with that, especially 60, 70 years down the road. This car is one of 481 ever made, and the more we tear into this, the worse it gets. I actually did a whole video, and we got most of the roof actually replaced, ready to be welded in on this car. And I got down to the sail panel and realized that the package tray was rusted. And then cutting out the package tray, the filler panel was rusted, and so on and so forth. And we get further and further into this car, and it's more and more rusted. Now I'm going to show you the parts of this car that are very, very concerning. And the reason that we're hitting a brick wall with this car is because the owner of this car, who loves it, is faced with a decision to make. The amount of money that it takes to restore this car correctly. We're not just BS patching stuff and throwing license plates over torque boxes. We've already done a full floor. We've already done a torque box. We've already done Florida firewall patches. We've done a ton of metal work on this car. The idea was to restore it back to stock because it is a piece of history. But money's money, guys. And it is getting very expensive to restore this car. The owner of this car and longtime subscriber, what's up, dog, also has a 65 that we were planning on doing a lot of work to. And that was going to be his resto mod project. So we were going to restore this to its glory, do a couple of creative things with it, make it look like it had a vinyl roof top. Wonderful. We restored one of 481. And he has that piece of history, and then he wanted something that he would actually really, really enjoy driving, something with like fuel injection, modern suspension, etc. With the 65, we had already ordered, a Mustang 2 front end from, our friends at Mustangs to Fear. And we were planning out that build separate from this one. And I started talking to him and discussing the issues and the lengths that we would have to go to restore this Nugget correctly to where it would last another 60, 70, 80 years and beyond. And it's a lot. It's a lot of money. So a line had to be drawn. And it's not easy because, I take a lot of pride in our work, and we have the ability to work on some really cool shit here. I want to be able to take not just coupes that are trashed, C-code coupes, turn them into fastbacks, and let people buy fastbacks for cheaper than they'd be able to buy actual fastbacks for. But I like working on history. I like restoring things to their former glory. And so this being so rare, this one's a hard one for me to let go of. I can't even imagine how it is for the owner. So legitimately, he had to do the math, and he had to draw a line on this. So the Golden Nugget as it sits right now is done. As it sits. What's that mean for the Nugget? Do you guys watch this channel? Do you know where this car is right now? Do you know that my phone is ringing right now and killing all of the suspense? All right, you guys know the ending of this story. Here's the thing. The Nugget is amazing. It's a beautiful piece of history, and we want to preserve and create a tribute to that piece of history. Now, the owner of the Nugget, he has that 65 that he wants to build. This started becoming an extreme money sink to where if you look at the pricing for Golden Nuggets, yes, there are only 481 of them made. Very, very, very few surviving. But the actual market, the value for Golden Nuggets is really no different than a coupe in the exact same condition in the same trim level. It's really awesome. It's a beautiful piece of history, but there's not much intrinsic value in it being a one of 481. Unfortunately. So when you're sitting with this car and you have limited options, limited funds, and you say, okay, well, do I want to preserve history, or do I want to have a car that I can keep for generations and pass down to my children that I enjoy living, or that I enjoy driving? That's a hard decision. So what we're going to do is a little bit of both. We are going to turn the Nugget into a fastback. Now, that does not mean we still do not want to create a tribute to the Nugget. So the Nugget is still going to have the same paint job on it. We're going to figure out some body lines. We're going to get the roof black. We might have some designs in the roof, like little golden nuggets. It might be a vinyl roof, textured. We're playing with a bunch of different ideas. But then the owner's like, well, since you're fastbacking the Nugget, then maybe for the 65, I'll take the stuff that I was going to put on the 65 and put it in the Nugget. And I said, let's fucking go! Let's send her, bud. Let's send this Nugget to space. Motor-wise, what's happening with the motor? It's coming out. I want the world to know it's getting a Coyote. That's right. He's got a Coyote motor hanging out in the corner of his garage. With a 10-speed 10R80 transmission that he was going to put in the 65, but guess who's gonna get it? Now that's a lot of horsepower for your ride. So, what are we going to do for the suspension? It's coming out. I want the world to know it's getting a Mustang too. That's right, our friends at Mustangs to Fear have provided us with a Mustang 2 kit that originally was going to go on the 65 with a, I think we had small block motor mounts for it, but they sent us the Coyote motor mounts. We're going to rip the whole front end of this car apart. It's getting a full Mustang 2 front end as well. It's getting full engine panels that we're going to do a massive video on. The cool thing is we've kind of partnered with Mustangs to Fear on this build. They really like the idea of doing a tribute to a very, very limited run car. If you don't know, Mustangs to Fear makes legitimately everything for a Coyote swap, and they even break it down into like phases on their website as to things that you'll need to do a Coyote swap. So they've been great helping us out with this. So you're going to continue to see their products on this channel. We're going to install their full engine panels, the Mustang 2 front end. We're probably going to end up doing a rear end, maybe Watts link. There's a lot to do on this car now that we have really a firm direction and a plan on what we're going to be doing. Before I get into that too much, let's take a look at some of the concern areas here that kind of led us down this path that may help you make a decision here in the future on your coupe. Sorry guys, there's going to be some ambient noise here. My my receiver for my microphone setup's dead. So this is how far we got. I even fit up the new roof. I fit up the fastback drip rails. If you want to see how to replace the roof on your coupe and make fastback drip rails work for your coupe. There is a video on it. I'll link it above. This is how far we got with it. So I got everything fitted up to here. I start getting down in here to the sail panel. This is, I mean, it's questionable, but it's workable. We got into here, and the sail panel actually, let's do bright of light. The sail panel actually sits underneath the package tray. Now there's no package tray in here because the package tray was jacked up. So we knew we were replacing the package tray, bought a new package tray, was just going to replace the top part of it. But now turns out, after I pop that off, check that out, just a ton of rust along here. Now some of it's surface, but you get down in there where the rust starts getting really dark, you'll see that on that side where I popped the package tray off, it just ripped. I mean, let's work with that camera angle here. Okay, let's take a look here. As you guys can hopefully see, you see this area right here where we ripped the package tray off. It's gone. Water gets into these vinyl roofs and it gets down and hangs out in every spot weld, and it just rusts this thing very, very badly. In here, we know that we're going to have to end up doing quarter panel skins at least. An area that's fairly rough, that it's going to be hard to kind of get the camera in and see, is going to be down in this corner. Basically, guys, where we're at with it is the bones, like the inner structure is rusted and it's jacked up. And to replace all of the inner structure in a coupe, it's a lot. It's a lot of framing, a lot of jig work, just a lot of labor. So getting into those wheel wells, right here, always there's going to be rust. You can't see it right here because it's not that bad on this side. On the other side it is. And again, we're going to end up, you know, if we rip that quarter panel off, the wheel well underneath that it wraps around, that's going to be rusted. We're going to have to do a new wheel well inside of the inner structure, so the labor just keeps adding up and adding up and adding up. Now, outside of that, but wait, there's more. So I'm hanging out, checking out stuff that we're going to need to do. And I look at this piece right here, not the ratchet, but I look at this piece right here and I say, wait a minute, that doesn't look factory. So then we look over here and we realize that this whole piece right here is just angle iron. It's just 2-inch angle iron that they put in here. And they did some really shitty stick welding for it. And I'm like, okay, well, why would they do that? That's an issue. Well, I know that this was apparently rusted because they did some more of their amazing welding right there. I look in here at the bottom, you can see that rust, that orange color. I know that that's probably gone. Also below that frame rail, I know that that frame rail doesn't stick out that far. There's a tab. Let's get in here. This tab right here, I know that that's also angle iron. Okay, well, let's keep getting into our detective work here. Great. Front of the rad support is actually angle iron as well. And we never would have known this unless we actually started taking this stuff apart. Then you start getting here, you realize that it's been welded poorly right here. That means that that's not angle iron. Or it's a 2-piece angle iron because there's a bend to this radiator support, like a concave bend like that. So the only way that they could do it is basically heat it up and kick the shit out of it. Okay, well, we know that they did a shit ton of patchwork here. Let's get to this side. Not to ruin the ending, but this side's fucked. Damn! There was a plate, another piece of angle iron that was, you can see the welds for it right here, right here, right here, just horrible welds. There was just a plate welded over this. So and it's not even welded all the way across. That means that when water comes in, and there's a little bit of water in Washington, when water comes in, it's just getting trapped between the outside steel plate. We're not fixing the issue. We're just polishing a turd. So now we have to do a whole frame rail patch here. Battery tray. Absolutely no one watching right now is surprised that this needs a battery tray. Every car needs a fucking battery tray. Full engine panels with the Mustang 2 front end kit. We're solving a lot of problems by actually upgrading this car. So that's where we're at with the Nugget. This story is going to sound very familiar to a lot of you out there. You get into a car, you want to do some stuff to it, you want to resto it. You fix something, it leads you down a rabbit hole to something else. The important part is that we remember that we're building the car for ourselves. We're building the car for our experience, our journeys. We're building it for our family to enjoy. We're building it for the Sunday drives up a canyon in the fall. We're building it for having our kids in the back seat and having them experience raw power in a classic vehicle. Taking them back to a time where things were so much simpler. That's what we're chasing. So don't get hung up on the one-off Mustangs. Don't get hung up on super rare Cobras or K codes or R codes or Golden Nuggets or Eleanors. When something starts out with a specific goal in mind, it doesn't always have to serve that goal. It doesn't always have to serve that purpose. So if you find yourself tearing down your car to the bare bones, digging out rust, putting in new panels, giving your car new life, just remember, it's okay to start over. It's okay to build back up from ground zero, because you don't always have to serve your original purpose. It's okay to change. It's okay to enjoy the drive. That's it from us today at Lost Socket Garage. I hope this video helped you. I think that there are things that people really need to focus on with their build. If you ever have questions or concerning spots on your car, or you wonder if it's worth it to do this, that, and the other, I like to think of myself as kind of knowledgeable. So feel free to reach out, lostsocketgarage@gmail.com, or comment and like the video below. Guys, subscriptions really do help us. Comments help us. The algorithm knows all. It means a lot to us that you're taking time out of your day watching our videos. And hopefully, if you subscribe and hit notifications, you can be kept up to date, because this obviously is going through a massive change. We're partnering with Mustangs to Fear on this build. We're going to show a lot of cool products. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can watch the Golden Nugget be reborn into the Golden Nugget Fastback. A one-off, baby. Like, subscribe, do what you love. Don't be a dick. And as always, never be tamed. Peace. You know, if I sing and you're giggling in the background, it takes neither of us any fucking good. You're fucking impossible to work with.
No, I know.
It's coming out! I want to fuck you, bro! Mental preparation that it takes to be able to do this shit on camera.
Yeah, but look on the bright side. At least you know it's gonna be fucking funny on YouTube.
It's coming! Fuck you!
This needs to be a fucking outtake at the end of the video. I'm so